that's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, especially when it's not a canned scenario that you've run 50 times and you're like, okay, yeah, I can do this 20, 30 times. I'm static. The target is static, and I can get my pistol out pretty fast. I'm not even seeing my sights because I'm going too fast, and I just throw that shot off, and it makes contact with a piece of steel, and that's the one that I put out there and be like, look how good I am. Like, no, sorry, put your kid between you and that target.
Right. And look at how big that still silhouette is that they're shooting to.
Right. So yeah, Instagram is a lot of deception, a lot of editing and things like that. A lot of people buy followers, you know, and there's, I mean, Instagram knows they're fake. And if you bother to go in and look and you say, if somebody has 200,000 followers and you go in and look at one of their posts and it has like 300 likes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do the math on that. And you're like, if you're not getting about 5% of your followers to actually engage with your posts, we're not really followers.
Right.
But when people see this high number, they're like, oh, I have to follow this guy. Or they see some highly edited video and they're like, wow, this guy's the greatest thing that's ever existed. And you're like, well, but who is he?
Exactly.
You know, he was you know, and you hate to run down a group of individuals because, again, you don't always know what that person's really been involved in. But stories leak out in the firearms industry, and you hear about instructors or guys that have these giant Facebook accounts or Instagram accounts, and they're like, oh well, I don't want to run down any individuals per se.
Sure.
There's some pretty famous guys out there that have done some epically stupid shit, like shot one of their teammates during training. And, if I told you that person's name, I guarantee you'd know who he is.
Well, we'll talk about it off.
Yeah, you'd be like, really? It's like, yeah, that guy shot his teammate in training. Or this guy is a notorious liar. Everybody knows he's full of shit. He claims this. And within the community, everybody knows he's full of shit. But if you come out as an individual and you run the guy down, the whole world's going to be like, you're an asshole,
Even though we all know it.
Everybody knows it, or everybody within that community that knows that guy knows he's full of shit. Things along those lines.
Well, what I have found, and I found this kind of interesting, is I have built, within a small amount of time of doing it, I've built a pretty successful company, or you know what I mean, just kind of an organization, whether it's from like the custom guns to holsters to everything I got going on. They don't give that to everybody. So I had going about Instagram, guys, I had a dude on Instagram. He's got like 30,000 followers. And he had said, hey, how do you have all these companies working for you? I don't have it, or I only have 2 or 3 sponsors. What are you doing? And I said, I have students who buy their equipment. Like, what do you mean? And he goes, oh, so you do stuff outside of social media? And I was like, yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's a very small kind of part of what you do, and I don't really like it. But it's a way to engage with people. But you actually, if you're not engaging with real people, why are you doing it? And I look at our sponsors, Vortex, who they're great. CMC Triggers. Who else? Fort Scott Munitions. I mean, absolutely, these people have been so good to us in these kind of things that I do want to go out and try to let people know, hey, these people are putting out a phenomenal product. They're actually a very good company to deal with. Because I'm not famous. You know what I mean? At all. I'm not an Instagram influencer or anything like that. But Chris obviously is. And he's the face of Battleline. And so a lot of people come to us with these maybe business opportunities, let's say, to run their products and do these kind of things. And so you have to do a lot of kind of background into these companies. Who are these people? What's their kind of business ethics and things along those lines? And there's, we've done business with companies because you just don't know sometimes until you get too far down that rabbit hole and you're like, man, this was dumb. These guys aren't our thing. But, so we get approached a lot by these people, and it's funny how you'll come back to them and you'll say, okay, but this is the deal, and part of the deal is you need to promote us on social media through your outlets. And they're willing to give you money, they're willing to give you product, but if a company won't promote you on their social media stuff, you're kind of like, all right, I'm out. But people protect that thing like it's the golden goose, man. And it's, it's not you're not your Instagram account. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your value should be in what you do with your students.
Yep.
And it goes forward. It shouldn't be, I follow this person on Instagram and they shoot this kind of gun. That must be the good kind of gun to run. It's like, no. Go take a class with that person, see them run that gun, and then maybe you can shoot any gun I bring to a course, I'll let any one of my students shoot it, test it out. I try to show them why this product is something that we like to use.
I had shot your P320. You had a Holosun red dot on it.
I did. That was a while back.
Yeah.
And before Vortex came on.
Yeah.
And so now I run, Vortex's stuff. I mean, I had run a lot of their stuff before, but again, I like to say, here's the product. This is why I like it. Yeah. You run it. You see what you like about it, what you don't like about it, and things like that. Don't just buy a product because I'm on social media saying, hey, this is great. Or even Chris saying, hey, like the Forrest Gump with his ping pong paddle kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go take a course with these individuals and see what they're really about. See what the gear that they're promoting is really about. Does it work for me? Is it right for me? And then make that decision. Because social media it's fake. It's 90% of it, like I said, it's fake. It's the right angle, the right smushed up boobs in the picture and all these kind of things. It's like, yeah, but do they know what they're doing with that gun? I was out in Texas maybe 6 weeks ago or something like that. You might know Jack, Whiskey Savage, Jack. He came up to a course that we shot up at Les's place. And, I like Jack, good dude.
Yeah.
He runs that Whiskey Savage stuff. And then he did this Texas Day at the Range event. He brought in a lot of these influencer people that had kind of passed the ego test, guys that had kind of been proven within the industry not to be assholes kind of thing. And he put this big event on down in Texas, and it actually turned out to be a great thing. He brought in great companies and brought in great shooters and all these things. And Jade Struck was there, Rudy Reyes, Chris, Jamie Villamore, some influencer people. I mean, Jamie's known more as a model, but she also is a shooter, and she's actually a very good shooter and things like that. Same with Jade. Jade's a very good shooter in herself. And, so being there with some of these people and you're like, okay, here's somebody that is an influencer on Instagram. Are they actually still a good shooter? And getting to see what they could do with a gun, unedited, uncut, raw kind of thing. And they are good shooters. Jamie's a good shooter. Jade's a good shooter. All these people that they had brought in were actually really good shooters and things like that. So it was kind of funny though to see kind of the difference, because I've been out to social media day at the range in SHOT Show, and that's where you see the guy who's like has the giant following, but when you really see the raw unedited version of them shooting, there's not much to be like, wow, that dude's legit, or that girl's a legit shooter. I've had Tracy Guns come in and take a class, or one or two classes with us. I can't remember at this point, but an extremely nice person. She is an influencer on social media, but she actually can shoot. She takes her shooting serious. She takes the evolution of her shooting serious. She wants to get better. She's actually engaged in the learning process, not like I'm just here to take some pictures and grow my social media account. And so there are some that are legit, but you can't just legitimize them based off of their social media. You kind of have to really say, who is this person? What's their background? You know, and then not just their background, but who are they now? You know, who are they? What are they doing? Are they trying to sell themselves as the guru of shooting, or are they just trying to sell you as somebody that likes to shoot and wants to get better at shooting? It's two completely different things. And yeah, social media is terrible. It is kind of the long and short of it.
Yeah.
But it's just the way of the world now.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what I think is helpful, at least, is YouTube, for the sense of being able to post like how to reload a pistol, how to load a magazine, expectations for a course. I can have all that stuff on a YouTube channel. And then when I tell my students, hey, you're coming to this class, watch this playlist of YouTube videos, I get to teach them before I even get to see them. So then when they show up to my class, they're the perfect student that I could ask for, because I've already, you know, prepped the field in the sense for that. So YouTube so far has really proven to kind of help out, at least on the student side, because I had a couple where they had showed up to class and it was just kind of like, okay, maybe it pet peeve of mine, not magazines not being loaded, but like their ammo was in a box. They had to open up the box, and then they're sitting there talking while filling up mags. And it's just like, okay, let's go.
Yeah. It's hard in teaching. And like you said, you kind of have to go take some of these courses from people to realize how you want to teach in the style of teaching that you want, and the expectations of the students is always, you know, they want to learn, but at the same time they want to shoot a bunch of rounds. And you're kind of like, well, you know, the shooting off a bunch of rounds part, that's not as beneficial as you would think. It's the actual learning how to do this absolutely right. And you're not going to pick that up necessarily just by pulling the trigger. You're going to pick that up by me manipulating your hands and your body position and things like that, putting you in the exact right position, and then having you shoot 5 rounds. And then so you can see the actual differences to what I just did and showed you, and all that kind of stuff. And if you don't have that personal interaction with the students, like you'll see an instructor teaching a class with 25, 30 students. He's not teaching them anything.
Yeah.
He's a range safety officer at this point.
Yep.
You can't have that much personal interaction with each student to give them much advice, to give them much feedback. So you have to say, I don't want to teach like that. And that's one of the things that I think Battleline does that's different from most other companies, is that we bring 2 instructors to every course. If the numbers start getting over, say, 15, we bring a 3rd instructor. And then we start to bring in other components of defensive shooting. Like I said, we won't just shoot for 2 days. We'll bring in that vehicle. We'll bring in Benny and do the jiu-jitsu thing. And you'll spend time on the range shooting, learning and mastering those fundamentals. Then you'll go over to the vehicle and you'll learn about getting in and out of a vehicle, how to shoot through doors and shoot through windows, and what you can expect to see in this kind of environment, or in a home defense style thing. And then they'll rotate and go through with Benny and do the jiu-jitsu. So when I start to explain to somebody the defensive draw stroke, they might not really get it on the range, but then when they go over in there and they're fighting with Benny and they realize, if I try to just throw this gun out here, he's going to take it away from me every single time, because I have no defensive capability now. So now that defensive draw stroke makes more sense. Or if you're starting to use it inside of a vehicle and you have to not necessarily defeat, but you have to work around a steering wheel, that's a whole nother ball game. So the defensive draw stroke is beneficial inside the vehicle as well. And you start to teach people these compressed ready positions when you're going in and out of rooms as an individual. but now it starts to click more. And then when they come back to the shooting range and you go over it with them again, now they really start to understand the why behind all of it. So we bring in 2 or 3 instructors. So we might have 25 people in a class, but there's 3 instructors there. So you're really only working with 7 or 8 people, you know?
Yeah.
And I just, so, you know, cause we're there to actually teach you how to do these things. And if you're just on a firing line with 25 other people, and you got
watching them. Yeah.
You're, you know, it's not a lot of learning going on because you don't have that one-on-one time with the instructors. So, you know, like I said, for me as an individual, I'm going to teach a class by myself here in Colorado. Yeah, it's tapped out at eight students because you can't really manage more than that. But I do, yeah. You want to spend time in the classroom, or you want to spend time on the range. You have to learn how to be a good instructor. You really do. And probably some of the best handgun shooters in the world maybe aren't the best instructors.
Yeah.
You have to have that proper blend of ability to run the gun, but also the ability to teach you to do that. Because it doesn't matter what I can do. It only matters what I can teach you to do. It's like, again, teaching the crazy whiz-bang, jiu-jitsu, kung fu, John Wick ninja shit to some 70-year-old woman that just wants to feel safe walking to her car at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, do a backflip and kick the dude in the face. That ain't gonna work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's teaching and doing are 2 different. You kind of have to be able to do both. And but in social media allows you to cheat all that. It allows you to cheat.
Yeah. Do 6 press checks before you shoot the target.
Right, when you can see brass through the chamber, you don't need to press check the gun. If I can see brass through that window, and there's going to probably be a big enough gap there.
Hey, the tactical Instagram dudes tell me I have to do 6 press checks.
So. Right. So I must do that. Yeah, there's some things like that you know that become popular, and you see people imitating them, and like the old turtle shell stuff where the guy's like this running his AR, and you're like, dude, you know, and at the same time he's telling you how important it is to have both eyes open. Like, why? So I can see my arm, you know,
so you can see your bicep.
Exactly, you know. So yeah, you can see all the veins running through my HG created arm here. And,
So we'll do one last thing here. I'm gonna call this the pet peeve. This will be your number 1 pet peeve within the firearms training industry. Okay. My number 1 pet peeve. Okay, I see your deep sigh. I'll go first. That way you can think about it. My number 1 pet peeve is instructors that have students come and take basic courses. And the basic course is like $200 or whatever it is, but all they teach them is how to disassemble, how to clean, how to reassemble, and then they shoot like 20 or 30 rounds. And that's it. But they shot with both hands, and they were 5 feet away from the target, and that's all they learned. And then they said, hey, you know what? You're good now. You can come take my advanced class. But that took them 2 hours. A basic class to me and dynamic problem solving is 2.5, maybe 3 hours, and I teach you how to clean, disassemble. If that's what you want, if you don't know how to do it, I'll show you how to do it free of charge. We'll do it after class, not a problem. But you're going to learn how to shoot with both hands, single-handed manipulations. You're going to learn how to load your gun with both hands, and you're going to do that from 3 to 15 yards. 15 yards is like the final test I'll do for a beginning class. But you're going to shoot a good-sized group at 15 yards. That's a basic class to me. What do you think about that?
No, I mean, I think that is a good basic starting point style class that, you know, you give them just enough to make them start to feel comfortable, to make them be able to manipulate the weapon safely, things along those lines, and that you can show them that you can be effective with this gun at these given distances, but you need more to really be an effective fighter, because you're still focused on shooting and not focused on fighting.
Right. Right.
You know, I use the hockey analogy with that, hockey players, well, good hockey players, let's say, they're not focused on skating. They're playing hockey. They're focused on playing hockey. If they start staring at their feet and really thinking about their ability, somebody's going to clean their clock, So you have to be able to be that good with the gun that you can now evolve into the next part of shooting, which is the thinking while you're fighting kind of thing.
Well, and that's why,
you're not going to get there in a day.
And that's why one thing I say all the time is go to training so you know what to practice. So now those individuals know, okay, hey, this is how you grip a gun with one hand. This is what it feels like to actually shoot it like this. And we did that at a controlled environment. So you're not going to go to the range on your own and do something silly because someone wasn't there to, you know what I mean, just kind of supervise it the first time you did it.
Right. I don't know what my biggest pet peeve is within the industry. It would probably have to just be the ego-driven people. I mean, we've had people come and take our courses, and you're kind of like, you want to just be like, why did you even come? Because some people will show up to these classes and they're not really engaged in the class. They're kind of just like, I'm here, but why'd you come if you didn't come here to learn? If you're not willing to actually try to apply what I'm teaching you, now you might have a different way of doing it, but give my way an honest assessment and listen to my reasoning behind it. And then if it's not for you, it's not for you. I get that, but I'm not just repeating stuff.
Yeah.
I have thought through every aspect of the why behind what I teach. Why do I teach people to grip the gun this way? Why do I teach people to do it this way, to do it that way? I've thought through it all. And granted, I could be wrong. I could be. I'm not saying I know everything. I certainly don't. But give it a try and see if it works for you.
Yeah.
And just because you paid money to come here, why wouldn't you try to learn something? I've never understood.
I call those students the photograph students. The only reason they're there is for the pictures and for the well, it used to be autograph, but autographs aren't a thing anymore. But they're there for the photograph at the end of the class to show what they're doing or to get their videos filmed while they're there. I've seen that quite a bit. Even, you know what I mean, going to some of the bigger name courses I went to, it was just kind of like, you're only here for this dude to give you a picture at the end of class. That's a $600 picture.
Well, we do run into that a little bit because, like I said, Chris is a known person, with, the events in Benghazi, the movie. He's written several books, that kind of stuff. He's been on Fox News, so people know who Chris is, even outside of the shooting world. So sometimes people will, I think, come to these courses just because they want to meet Chris a little bit, and he still signs a lot of books and things like that, and so you do get that aspect of it every once in a while. We have had people come to and take courses and bring their own photographers and to take pictures and things like that, and so you are, but a lot of them, like I said, like Tracy, Jamie, Jade, these people that Rudy that have come and taken our, I've never seen them show up with a camera guy. They're there to learn, and so the biggest attitudes we've gotten from people is usually from law enforcement officers. That have given us the most attitude with stuff. And so I'm always kind of confused by it as to why did you bother to spend the money to come if you're not actually going to try to learn what we're putting out. That part of it to me is odd, because we have had people that are very well known within the industry come and take our classes and be extremely attentive and listening and trying to take in everything that they can and learn and apply that to their own shooting and things along those lines. And then you do get these random one-offs where the guys just like, they don't listen. You're talking and they're on their phone, texting and stuff. You're kind of like, why did you bother to come, dude?
So I had a couple law enforcement officers who everything I taught, they said, well, our department does this. So what I did is I put everybody on it was like a 6-hour class. I gave them like a 15-minute break. In that 15 minutes, I sat there and Googled every shooting that department had been in, or like any sort of high risk, anything I could find on the news. And I was like, okay, you're wanting to claim that you don't want to do this because your department teaches you all this cool stuff. You guys shot at a suspect 49 times between 2 officers, hitting him once.
Right.
Okay. And then in the same breath, I trained a law enforcement officer out of West Virginia. And I have a policy where if one dude signs up for a class, I'll do the class for one person. Now, I didn't drive there for the one class. I had other classes throughout 2 weeks. But I drove up there, taught him. We did like a 4-hour class. Since teaching him, he is now he's working on being the department's firearms instructor, doing a whole bunch of stuff and teaching the stuff he learned from outside training. So to me, that's the change that I think we all that's the ripple effects that we should all be looking for,
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, you can usually do that with the smaller law enforcement agencies. Like we had a guy who was a cop out of New York City, NYPD. I always want to say NYPD Blue because he was NYPD, and he came and took the course. Great dude, was there to learn, and he had a great attitude, kind of thing. And he was like, "Man, we got to get you guys to come and teach this stuff to the police department as a whole, and all that kind of stuff." And I was like, "Do you think your department would ever sign off on that?" And that's been almost a year and a half ago. Nothing, because they just won't sign off on people that teach things a little bit differently than the doctrine that was written by other cops in the 80s and 70s and things like that. And they're sticking with that because it's been approved. It's been signed off on by the mayor and all these things. And they're so afraid of getting sued, which I understand that aspect of what they do, that they have to constantly be afraid of getting sued. But I look at it as what's more likely to get you sued is throwing 60 rounds at a guy and only hitting him twice. Well, where did those 58 other rounds go? Yeah. They'll go through things. They keep going until something.
Well, that's definitely true. Some of those smaller departments, they do – it's kind of 50-50. Some of the smaller departments are like their chief of police carries a revolver still and acts like he's John Wayne. And then the other half are like, hey, we don't want something to happen here, and we are not trained for it. And those are the best ones because they already know, hey, we did not learn anything. Just what do you got to teach us? So
I taught